Hello everybody, it's Brian here with a thread response video for James Groffiths, who is over in the UK, and his thread is "Give me 10 dudes with an axe." So in other words, 10 albums that depict a guy and his guitar. So in other words, no women, no band members, no other extraneous people, just the guy and his guitar. That's a pretty interesting idea. And of the 10, we're supposed to choose one that is the best or our favorite. So I thought this was pretty interesting. I had to cross a couple off because other people have shown them, but I think I have 10 that maybe are unshown at this point, but who knows? And I'm going to start with a band I've mentioned before on my channel, and that is a band called Max Webster. Now, despite the fact that this is a Canadian band, I sometimes go into record stores and see record stores file this under W, thinking it's a guy's name. Completely wrong. It's Max Webster's the band name, like Matt Bianco is another example. Universal Juveniles, this is the last record they did. The last studio recording they did from 1980, the last of 5 records. They did release a best of, and there was a live recording as well. And there was a box set which had a bonus record of stuff, but this was their last recording. Kim Mitchell, who you might know was the lead singer guitarist. He's from Sarnia, Ontario. The band was formed in Toronto. And you might be wondering, why does he get to be on the cover by himself? Well, by this point, he was the only original member left, although Gary McCracken had been around for quite a while, but it was almost like a Kim Mitchell solo record by this point. So that's the front with these incredible white, I guess, cowboy boots. I don't know. Yellow spandex outfit. There's a flame for a guitar pick, and here's the back. Kind of fascinating. I did see Max Webster around this time, and Kim was wearing an equally kind of outrageous outfit as well. Very entertaining. I think, if I would be so bold as to say, I think Kim Mitchell is probably Canada's most underrated electric guitar player. I think he's phenomenal. Maybe it doesn't show so much in his solo work, but with Max Webster, I think he was incredible. And so this is a pretty good record. If you are a fan of Rush and you don't know this already, you should try and stream the song called Battle Scar, last track on side A, because it features all the members of Max Webster, including a member who had left and came back just for that song, and all of the members of Rush. So they're all listed here on the bottom. So Geddy Lee, Neil Peart, and Alex Lifeson appear on this record. So that's a pretty solid record. Funny cover. Oh, by the way, there were later pressings of this that would say Max Webster featuring Kim Mitchell to capitalize on his solo career. And the CD said that too for a while. From 1991, Bryan Adams, Waking Up the Neighbors. Now, I should say that I am not really a Bryan Adams fan. I do like some of his tracks, but not really my favorite. But I was in a thrift shop somewhere, and I found this original pressing for $2, so I did buy it. I'm not thrilled with it, partly because one of the tracks on here is "Everything I Do It For You," which I just can't stand. Now, I did break the rules a bit here because this is a man and an axe and a megaphone. But here's the back of it. Double record set. You know, it was a good deal, but kind of wished I'd liked it more because I don't like the production really very much on here. So kind of hit and miss. But anyway, Bryan Adams. Here is a Canadian icon, legendary Gordon Lightfoot with his debut called Lightfoot with an exclamation mark from 1966. Although this was recorded in 1964. That is a nice photo of Gordon Lightfoot there. Unfortunately, we lost him a while back, but that's a really great image. And even on the back, we have another image of Gordon with his guitar. So, yeah, it's sad that we lost him. He was such an important part of Canadian music. Almost breaking the rules because you can see a crowd down here. But this is Don Ross and his album called Bearing Straight. It's his debut record from 1989. I saw him in concert maybe in like 1993 or 4 possibly. He is a finger-picking style Canadian guitarist. You may have noticed a theme developing here. Kind of really fast-paced too. Just listen if you want to the first ride on here. Yeah, just try to keep up. It's fast. He really influential in some circles, I guess. I think his father or his mother was Micmac, one or the other, probably his father. Really interesting. This features Hugh Marsh on electric violin, who played with Bruce Cockburn for many years. He also appeared on a couple Peter Murphy records, and on the last Rio Statics record. So this is pretty interesting. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. The aptly named Chew, Mac DeMarco's second record. He's from British Columbia, but he didn't start releasing music until he lived in Edmonton, somewhere. I think it was Edmonton, Alberta. So album 2 from Mac DeMarco from 2012. Now, he is hard to describe him, like a lo-fi indie kind of slacker kind of rock guy. And look at that guitar. This may be the guitar that he paid $30 for from a pawn shop or something. He used to tour with it, but it kept breaking, so he didn't use it. But he likes to use old equipment. There's a fascinating YouTube short documentary about him where he talks about his family and shows his recording process. He does like pitch bending, lo-fi instrumentation, things like that. Anyway, very interesting guy. There's a poster in here which I won't pull out, but Mac DeMarco and his axe. Here's a very strange Bruce Cockburn compilation. There he's with his guitar on the front there. This is called Rumors of Glory, which is the title of a track on his album Humans. But this is a compilation from 1985 that was released on CD and on vinyl, but only in Germany, for whatever reason. So I don't know how I got it, but you can actually see there's some German writing here, recommended by that. There you go. And anyway, this has a number of, well, all previously released tracks, except for a track called Yankee Go Home. But if you know Bruce Cockburn's career, you'll recognize these songs right back to Lord of the Starfields and Laughter. But Joy Will Find a Way, Wondering Where the Lines Are. It's not an expensive record, but I just think it's hard to track down. Here is a Canadian blues rock guy called David Wilcox. Now, there is an American singer-songwriter called David Wilcox, but this is our Canadian bluesy kind of pub rock guy. Out of the Woods. This was released in 1977, but I don't think it got much attention. It was re-released in 1983, and that sort of kickstarted his career. He was very notable on the university circuit, playing lots of schools back in the day. I believe the only other time I've seen a David Wilcox record shown in the VC was on MGK Boston's channel. I'm pretty sure he showed one. On the back we have guitar and a chair. And this has 3 well-known tracks in Canada, Do the Bearcat, Hot Hot Papa, and That Hypnotizing Boogie, were even Cheap Beer Joint probably, but they were played a lot on radio, probably still are. And I think he's still making music and touring. I know he's touring, I'm not sure if he's making music, but he is probably played like thousands and thousands of shows in small pubs and things. The aforementioned Kim Mitchell, this is a Kimbo logo, and if you have this record and you don't live in Canada, you might be wondering what's going on, because there were 3 album covers for this record. This is the Canadian cover with him kind of silhouetted and his guitar. In the United States, the album cover had Kim wearing an Ontario Provincial Police hat, OPP, and a cigarette in his mouth. And when it was released in Europe, they didn't like that very much, so they had a different picture of him without the cigarette. So there's 3 album covers for this record. There he is on the back. Kim had a drive home radio show on Q107 in Toronto for quite a few years. He released a new record maybe a couple of years ago. I haven't really followed his career. This is famous for Go for a Soda, All We Are, and possibly Lager and Ale, which was a pretty big track up here. And as I said, I prefer the Max Webster to his solo career, but I think he had some pretty good songs. And they're kind of still played on the radio up here. You can still hear them. So that's Kim Mitchell. I saw him solo tour too a couple of times. From 1978, we have Neil Young's Comes a Time, his sort of folky, maybe country-ish record, featuring harmonies by Nicolette Larson. I think the 2 big tracks on here were Comes a Time and Going Back. A lot of love is on here as well. Motorcycle Mama. Yeah, 4 Strong Winds even. Yeah, I kind of forgot what was on here. Anyway, this is a pretty solid record. I think I read somewhere that it's one of his favorite records from Neil Young. So that's Neil. And I know there's a guy here, but it's a crowd person, so I'm going to ignore that. And lastly, number 10, which will also serve as my favorite of the lot, is this EP from Leonard Cohen called Live in Fredericton. This has 5 tracks: Dance Me to the End of Love, In My Secret Life, Heart with No Companion, Bird on the Wire, and Who by Fire. I saw the previous tour to this. I didn't go to this tour because I thought the prices were quite high, but I saw the previous tour. And I just, come on, like, who aged as gracefully as Leonard Cohen? He wore a suit for a long, long time, not all the time, but certainly for much of his career, he wore a suit. But then he adopted this fedora, this sort of sophisticated older gentleman look. And, there he is with his guitar. I think this is a classic cover. A really nice portrait of Leonard. Love this. And there's the whole band shot on the back. So really cool. And a pretty good EP. So that's it. If you have 10 record covers featuring gentlemen with guitars, I'm sure James would like to know about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.